have a question for you. Have you ever felt scared, afraid of asking dumb questions, of looking stupid if you ask something or maybe it's not appropriate, and you actually stay silent and don't get the information you need and grow and learn because you're afraid of this? Do you ever keep yourself held back because of this fear to ask questions? Listen, Steve Jobs said this. One of the number one reasons why people do not reach, what's up, Rick? How's it going? Do not reach their goals of where they're going is because they are terrified to ask the right questions. They don't ask anything of anybody, and they actually stay silent because they're worried about looking stupid. This fear grips a lot of people and holds them back from going after where they're called to go because they stay in a place of, I can't ask that because it's not allowed, or I will look stupid. Embarrassment, fear, worry, shame, whatever that is. And so here's the thing, is what I want to encourage you is this. If you feel that way, whatever that is, it's probably because you asked a question once before and you got embarrassed, or somebody commented about it or said something and you felt like, I can't do that ever again. And a lot of times this builds a framework in our lives, our minds. We believe that we can no longer do that, and it actually prevents us from doing the very thing that can help us progress further in our calling and destiny and what we were made for. Okay? So what I want to encourage you with is this. Don't be afraid to ask dumb questions. Being afraid of asking questions is the very reason why you should ask them. And if you feel that fear and that anxiety, sometimes you have to just say, hey, listen, fear and anxiety, I appreciate it. I know you're trying to keep me safe, but I got this. I saw that on a meme today. I forget who it was, but I was like, that's awesome. It was like a little picture of like fear and anxiety, and then this person telling their fear, listen, I know you're trying to keep me safe, but I got this. And the fear manifests itself. It's the whole touching the hot stove thing. It's time to stop it with fear and boldly ask questions to get the information that you need and that you want. Don't worry about what the answers are. And if you don't want an answer to your question, don't ask it as well. That's the other thing too. If you're not really wanting an answer to that question, be careful which questions you ask. Be willing to accept if you like or don't like the answer. Now, one of the easiest ways to start, if you feel like a question is dumb, is Google. Start with Google, or close friends or family or people that are in that area. A lot of times you might have questions that are related that you don't know anybody around you in your sphere of influence that can answer them. So that's why Google can help with that. Also, Facebook groups as well are places to ask questions on specific topics. I did a podcast episode today. It's now live. It's a new method for learning and accelerating learning that talks about crowdsourcing what's on the internet to ask questions and refine your questions. So a lot of times people are afraid of asking dumb questions because they don't really know the right question to ask, but then they never ask the wrong question because they're afraid, and they never actually learn how to ask the right question. Meaning, if you're afraid to ask it because you're afraid it's a dumb question, you have to learn okay, well, what's the right question? But you have to kind of start that by saying, hey, listen, this is what I'm trying to figure out. And go on a journey to figure out what the right question is. Not let the fear keep you from going on that journey. Be vulnerable enough to step out, take a leap of faith, and ask those questions. And don't let the fear of looking dumb or feeling embarrassed keep you back from going where you're headed to go. The podcast I did, it's about 35 minutes long. It's a whole thing where I walk you through a process of learning and utilizing platforms like Google, Facebook, YouTube, Audible, podcast to learn anything that you want. Any question that you have and how to learn it, from being a complete novice to actually expert level, can be done with research now on the internet, and there's no excuse for not learning things. Even if you feel like, oh, I don't have the money or I don't have the time, there's ways to do that and to propel yourself towards your goals. So grow your life, everybody. #grow your life. Leave that in the comments on the feed, and we'll talk soon.